Hey, I'm Gerald. This is Terry. This is Shane. We're three brothers together. Well, this is day 2 in What Brothers Do. We've had a little rain since we filmed the last episodes, and so things have changed here somewhat. But nevertheless, today we're going to put in our corners, our inside corners for these walls before we start boxing. And we're going to, our addition's really square and it's really plumb. So we're going to double check that and let you see how to check it and which way it needs to be pushed. And we're going to proceed to put on our ceiling joist and our rafters. So with each one of those, there's little tricks and little ways to make that happen faster. So we're going to talk about all of it. That way you can do these things at home for yourself and save that contractor's price. That's what all these programs are about how you can do this kind of work yourself. It's not rocket science, it's common sense. So with that said, we'll get started. Okay, a little something I want to show you guys just for the sake of being so correct. You remember we put sackcrete down in these holes that we dug when we first started. Well, we've had a little rain shower. It rained yesterday for about all day long, and so just with what rain we got, this is already set. It's not completely done, but it is well solid, and each one of these piers, the foundation under it, is good and solid. So we have a firm foundation and we added no water. That's what's key to it. We just simply tamped our sackcrete in, got it level by hand or an eye, and then we set our cap block on and then our post, and on we go. So that just so that you guys understand that we don't have to mix this up. This is plenty sturdy enough and it's strong enough to carry this room addition, this set of walk-in closets we're going to build here. That's plenty, more than enough foundation for it. Well, the other thing I want to discuss is how plumb we are. Now, plumb means how truly vertical that these members are. So I'm going to set the square of my level up here, and we're going to get a shot of it right there. So the building, in order to be plumb, you're pushing opposite the very direction that the bubble is. So this bubble's coming to this side of that little mark there, that little gauge. So we're going to pull that wall over until that comes right in the middle, and you can see how close we are. We're very close. So we'll do that. We're going to put on only one sheet of plywood. One will hold all this because we're plumb against the wall. We're tied to this house. So we're going to shove this back and get it plumb, put on a sheet of plywood, and that will take care of it. Now, the other part that's going to happen as we go is we're going to put it in this inside nailer. This is what we're going to do. We're going to come right to our scrap pile and get our scrap, just like this right here. And rather than use up full 2x4s members to put this in, all we're creating is a nailer for our drywall or whatever we put on the walls on the inside. So we're just going to simply stand up our scrap and put it in there like so. We're using a nail gun, so I'm just going to shoot this one up and show you. We're going to work together here. And rather than shooting straight, we can shoot straight through. So with this gun, and remember, there's some safety issues related to this. Let me talk about that safety, guys. This gun operates on 150, from 120 to 150 PSI. This is a coil nail gun. We're shooting a 3.5 inch to a 4 inch nail that you can buy, and it's on a coil. It's probably better than 100 shots in this gun right now. It's got an upper cap that slides and closes it up, and this air comes through this hose and actuates here based on this little device right here. These are not toys, and these guns will fire as fast as fast as you can bump it against the floor. So it requires a lot of safety. Now, you always have to put oil in the back of the gun, which lubricates the internal parts, the valves and stuff that operate this gun. Snap that together and you're good. And when you depress that and squeeze the trigger, this gun will fire. So right here's how you fire it. And right here, this has to be fully depressed before the nail will actually go in. So just remember, when you're using one of these guns, to always think about it like you were handling a loaded weapon, because it can injure. There's a lot of fatalities that even happen with use of these guns when they're not used safely. So I'm just going to show you how it works. We're going to use this because it's faster than nailing with a hammer and nail. Now, I'm going to pass it on up here to brother. He's going to put in an additional shot right there at the top. Now, let's come around this way and let me show you what we're doing. What we're creating is an inside corner. When we go to put up our inside material, whatever it might be, if it's drywall, if it's plywood, whatever you're going to attach this roll, you have to have an inside nailing point. And this is called a California corner. It allows insulation to be put back behind this. So here we've created an inside nailing location for whatever going to come down this wall, this direction. So we're going to proceed to put that in. We're going to use our scrap. I try to be very economical, efficient, so that there's a little waste on a job. And this allows you to use up some of your scrap, gets it up off the ground, gets it in your house, and it saves your money. And that's what it's about, being able to add an addition as efficiently and financially efficient as you can. So we're going to proceed to do this before we start our boxing. It's just easier. Okay, we'll get started. Right at the top. Okay, we're going to lay out a piece of plywood here for our corner to keep our room square and plumb. So I'm going to mark out for 16s, and you can see that this is a used piece of plywood. I took this out of another building we were tearing down, and all I done was back up the nails and cleaned it up and stacked it in a good dry location. And using what you have available to you is very important if you want to save money, because this is not inexpensive. Right now, currently, this is about $30 a sheet, approximately. So we're going to try to save as much as we can. That didn't, because it's been used before, does not destroy the structural integrity of this product. So in order to make sure that all our nails hit in the right locations, I always like to pre-mark my plywood. So I'm just going to set my hand here beside the 16, because 16 centers is how we're framing. And I'm going to put my pencil at the end of my tape. And I'm just going to run both parallel all the way down my plywood. Just going to put a nailing guide right on our plywood. So I'm going to go around, because this is dimensioned material. And I'm going to go right back the other side and marking this 16. Now, whoever's doing the nailing, installing this, does not have to guess where their studs are at. They can see it. And if they nail right on the line, there'll be no missed nails. So we're going to set this up, and we're going to square or plumb our room. Shane. In a few episodes prior to this, we were allowing when we were setting Mark laying out for a wall location, we stepped in a 1/2 inch and laid it out on 4 inches rather than 3.5. And this is the reason why. It allows you a ledge there to set your plywood on. You don't have to hold it up in the air and try to maneuver it to get it in the right location. You've already got that location pre-made. So it allows you to nail along the bottom and up each stud. Now, if your stud looks like this, we are flush here at the bottom, and our stud is out just a little bit. Come around this way, Shane. Right there, you can see it. See that right there? Well, we're going to push that in until it becomes flush, all the way up. Now, it's not really bad. Matter of fact, this is very typical. It happens in all framing jobs. You run into little issues where there's a difference in it. So we're going to nail it to bottom, and then we're going to square a wall, or plumb a wall rather. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm just going to simply take another 2x4, and Brother's going to get up on a set of step horses here, and I'm going to shove that stud till it's flush.
That top plate I just had put on, when you put your top plate on, you may have a bowl in your wall. It may go in, it may go out. So you nail on one end, then my brother got on the other end, he pulls that to straighten it up, and that'll straighten your wall up down to there.
Terry, you're going to start right down there at the bottom, right where it's at.
Now, let it up just a little. Right there.
Okay, let me go a little higher. Where's it out at next?
Right here. Then the top's flush. Right.
Now let's check it. Go ahead. Do what you're doing. Okay, nailing procedure. We're nailing this on about every 8 inches, 8 to 10, and we're getting it between 8 and a foot here. That is more than enough. That's a more enough attachment without being very, very wasteful with your nails. So this is nailed on really good because it's plywood. This is going to be very, very strong. Now we want to look at our plumb one more time. And we're dead on. So the house is plumb, or the room is plumb, so we're in good shape. Straight up and down. Okay, you come right here. We're going to lay out for our ceiling joist. And now what we want is we want to joist a ceiling joist directly over top of this stud. We can set the rafter to the right or to the left of that. So Brother is going to get up there and just square up off of this. No complicated measurements. We've got it laid out on 16-inch centers. So we're going to mark straight up parallel on each side of that and put a plate right across that, mark right across that top plate. We're going to do that every location. Now we're not going to put one on right now against this house because we want a rafter set flush to this wall. Now, we're just going to chalk a line later and use a 2x4 for the ceiling joist there. And all it is a nailer. When we get over to this point, to this far part of this wall, your ceiling joist must sit over top of this stud here. It acts as a nailer along beside this wall. And we'll add a couple of cleats tying that ceiling joist to this outside wall in our length later. So we're going to proceed. We'll get you a shot here and let you see exactly what he is doing from the inside.
All I'm going to be doing right here is just transferring where my studs are at up on this right here, so we know right where we set our ceiling rafters at.
Ceiling joist.
Or ceiling joist. So I'm making a mark on the outside of that right there, and he'll sit on this side of the mark, straight above each stud. We're going to do the same thing as we done over here on the other side.